Hey everybody, and welcome to the second module for the course. This module. I'll be talking mainly about Chapter 3, Cardiorespiratory Fitness. Hopefully, y'all have learned a little bit about healthy behaviors and wellness. Just remember, you understand the difference between health and wellness, the 9 dimensions of wellness, what is a SMART goal, um, the trans theoretical model, the leading cause of death in the United States, and all of that. So I'll say that this module, chapter 3, is going to be a little bit more information. So it's going to last a little bit longer. There's more information, there's more material for this chapter. So I just wanted to give you a heads up. Chapter 1 is kind of a leeway, and it's one of the two chapters that has the fewest amount of information. So first thing I want to show y'all, as far as testing, I've gotten several emails from students in regards to your testing. So you are going to take 3 unit tests, and there'll be 2 chapters per unit test. So unit test 1 that will occur next week, it'll be it'll contain chapter 1 and chapter 3 material. And in case y'all haven't yet, so here is the homepage for Canvas and the course. This is what you all see. And if you scroll down, hopefully by now you have completed the REA. It's just 2 questions to complete. If you haven't done yet, it's due on the 2nd. Excuse me. So on Tuesday, June 2nd is when it's due. So do that as soon as possible. You got to do that as soon as possible if you haven't yet already. So if you scroll down here, you got proctored testing information. And there are 2 locations that you are able to complete the test. Um, and if you are not able to take the test in these locations, email me, let me know as soon as possible, and we'll get you worked out and accommodated. But we are trying to get away from taking tests online as much as possible. Um, so if you scroll down, I have this schedule. So y'all's test, Unit 1, will occur between June 9th next week through June 11th. Okay, so Tuesday through Thursday. It'll happen Tuesday through Thursday. For Unit Test 2, there is not a Calendly link for that, so you'll need to contact the testing center. And they should be able to accommodate all of you all um, during those days for the Unit 2 test. And then the last test, the Unit 3 test, will occur between July 14th through the 16th. Now, I see where it says June 8th, July 13th, but that's when it's available for all the classes. But we have it set up for June 9th through the 11th. Okay. So hopefully you're able to take it during those days. And what you'll do is let's go back, you'll just click for the unit test 1, just click the link and it'll take you to this Calendly page. And if you prefer a Wednesday, and if you notice that there's several spots available, or Thursday, okay. If those days don't work during those times, maybe try the science building. You can try the science building link. Okay. So I see where it's only available on Wednesday and Thursday. All right. So pick one of those days. And again, for the Unit 2 test, you have to contact the testing center. And I have their contact email or extension. And I've sent you all, it's also in the syllabus, the email. I'll also post the email right here as well for you all to see. But just make sure if you want to go ahead and schedule your appointments for those tests, do so as soon as possible so you don't miss a spot. Okay. So I just want y'all to understand that. And if y'all have any questions about that, let me know. And I'll be happy to help you. Okay. All right, so let's go through the assignments first. Actually, you know what? Um, since I've covered that already, I'm gonna go over the PowerPoint slides real quick. Hopefully, it won't take too long. So if you scroll down, you have already completed the chapter one module. I've done the assignments, hopefully. And then you got the unit three. This is cardio. As always, I have the chapter reading available. It's posted. So if you want to download that, you can. Um, I have the PowerPoint slides next, and then you have the study guide available. And again, your Unit 1 test will contain both Chapter 1 and Chapter 3 material. So questions will come from the Chapter 1 and Chapter 3 PowerPoint slides and the reading too. But mainly focus on the PowerPoint slides. And if you notice, I have 4 assignments. So it's a longer chapter, there's more information. So you have twice as many assignments, but they're not too bad assignments, I promise. And in the next video, I'll go over the assignments with you all. But let's get started on the PowerPoint slides. So if you click here, click the link, you can download it. Okay, so here is the PowerPoint slides. Make sure you review these slides at your own leisure. So we're going to talk about cardiorespiratory fitness. So anytime you hear the word cardio, you think of the heart. Okay, so cardiorespiratory. Anytime you think of respiratory, you think of the respiratory system. So the definition of cardiorespiratory fitness, the capacity of the cardiovascular system and the respiratory systems to supply oxygen to the cells for energy production, especially during physical activity. So make sure you all know this definition for cardiorespiratory fitness because it will definitely show up on your test, your Unit 1 test. All right, we first go over the cardiovascular system. Make sure you know that its purpose is to transport oxygen, nutrients, other key substances to your different organs and tissues around your body. Okay. And it's composed of the heart, blood, and blood vessels. The cardiovascular system is composed of the heart, blood, and blood vessels. Make sure you all know that. All right, the heart. Heart is about the size of your fist. Okay, so not everybody's heart is the same size. The bigger you are, the taller you are, the larger your heart will be. And same for the smaller you are. So it's about the size of your fist. And its main purpose is to deliver oxygen, rich blood, and carbon dioxide rich blood throughout your body. Carbon dioxide is a waste product, and what happens is the heart pumps the blood delivers oxygen from the blood to your different tissues, different organs, etc. And then as a waste product, it brings back carbon dioxide, um, and then that's what you exhale. Okay. As it's comprised of 4 chambers and 4 valves. Okay, and it's located just beneath your sternum, about the left side of your rib cage, not right in the middle, but around the left-hand side. All right, so blood is mainly water, but plasma is mainly water with some nutrients in it, some proteins, and some waste products. Formed elements are your red blood cells, white blood cells, and platelets. So make sure you know what the formed elements are. Red blood cells, its main purpose is to deliver oxygen. And we'll talk about here in a second how oxygen is delivered. White blood cells, its main purpose is to fight off infection. It's with the immune system. Um, that's why if you're sick and you go to the doctor and you get a blood test, they'll notice that your white blood cell count is high because it's fighting off any kind of illness or sickness. And platelets, their main purpose is to help with blood clotting. So if you get an injury, if you're outside, get cut, um, hopefully you go inside, get some first aid done, and hopefully it stops bleeding. That's the purpose of platelets. It clots up at that site, so it prevents any more bleeding from occurring, so you don't bleed out. There are some different types of medication where a side effect is it decreases your platelet count, which means you have to be careful when it comes to getting injured. You might bleed out more than normal. Blood vessels. Make sure y'all know the different blood vessels. Arteries and arterioles, they deliver oxygen-rich blood. Veins and venules deliver carbon dioxide-rich blood, aka deoxygenated blood. Okay. And make sure you memorize, you study this figure, because I guarantee it's going to show up on your test, your Unit 1 test. Okay. Vasoconstriction, vasodilation. If you're out in the cold, your blood vessels in your extremities, your hands, your fingers, and your lower extremities, your toes, your feet, are going to vasoconstrict because you want more blood flow to your main parts of your body, your main organs, your vital organs. So that's why people get frostbite, because they lose the tissue dies because there's not any more blood flow. Because you're outside in the cold, and that blood wants to be directed. Your body directs that blood um, to your main organs, to your vital organs, to keep you alive, to keep you warm. Vasodilation, if you're out running in the heat, if you're running a mile, the blood vessels in your legs are going to be vasodilated because they want more oxygen to your muscles, to that part of your body. So yeah, if you're at rest, then your blood vessels they'll be at normal. So make sure you know what happens during vasoconstriction. The blood vessels, the walls get bigger, which means less blood flow to that site. Vasodilation, more blood flow, the walls get thinner. Hemoglobin, this is where oxygen binds to hemoglobin in the red blood cells, and the molecule binds to the hemoglobin, and that's how it gets transported through your body. So I'm sure y'all might have heard of carbon monoxide, and that it can be poisonous because the carbon monoxide molecule it'll bind to the hemoglobin instead of the oxygen. So you want an oxygen molecule to bind to hemoglobin instead of carbon monoxide. And if you don't have that oxygen, you can die. So so yeah. So that's all for the cardiovascular system, y'all. You got the respiratory system. It's made up of the trachea, the bronchi, the bronchioles, and the lungs. The trachea, also known as the windpipe. And what you have here, this is called the alveoli. These little tiny air sacs, and if you see here, the alveoli, you have the bronchioles, and then they branch off into the alveoli. They look almost like little tiny air. They're little, almost like grapes, like a cluster of grapes, but they're very itty bitty, and that's where gas exchange occurs, meaning oxygen moves in to your respiratory system, carbon dioxide moves out. That's where you exhale. Okay. So that's where gas exchange occurs, the alveoli. Oxygen in, carbon dioxide.